Hey everybody, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review. So sit back and enjoy. Alright everybody, for those of you that know the drill, I go over a bunch of comic books for the week that I chose to read. Now I didn't have time to read everything, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know in the comments below. Also, you may disagree with me on some of my choices. If that's the case, that's alright. Let me know below. Let's just try to keep it civil. My goal is to bring back the old schoolyard days, where we would be in discussing what hero could beat who or what comic book was good and not. And I come armed with my trusty notes, so you'll hear the paper rattle because I do it a little bit old school. I do my grading on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average as a 70%. So I'm using schoolyard grading. But that's not all. I also use the League of Comics Geeks to give you other people's views as well as a brief overview of the comic book as well. So let's jump right in. Hey comic book fans, welcome to the weekly comic book review. Didn't read a whole lot this week, but boy have things been busy. But plus there wasn't just a whole lot that interested me. So if I don't cover something that you thought was interesting, there's no slight or offense meant there. Just meant maybe I didn't see it, didn't think it was good, maybe recommend it to me. That's fine too. First, I want to talk about Green Lantern Corps number 5. With 105 ratings, 3.6 mostly positive score on the League of Comics Geeks. Yeah, not a bad start. Now, I gave the book a 7.3. The writer is Jeremy Adams, Morgan Hampton, and artist V. Ken Marion. The little blurb here says the OS station crew and the field team converge as Simon Baz and Teen Lantern meet up with Guy Gardner and his new partner, Lantern Nerf. I called him Nerf. Nerf. As they race to escape the crooks. Yeah, can they survive in one piece? Well, they do go through some interesting things, I'll say that. This cover, I have to admit, didn't really stick out to me. Some of the open order covers are much better than this one. But the art's decent in Nerf. I have to say that the Nerf in this ends up being pretty darn awesome. It's a fun issue overall. If you're a Green Lantern fan, I don't see why you're not getting this. It's been pretty good. If you're not a Green Lantern fan, yeah, this isn't gonna work for you. But hey, not every book is for everybody, is it? And, sometimes some books you just think sucks when others don't. And speaking of sucks, let's talk about DC versus Vampires World War V, which is, 5, issue number 10. Now, this series doesn't seem to be maybe selling a whole lot. There was only 56 ratings at this time on League of Comics Geeks, but it did have a 4.3 score, which is very positive, and I gave the book a strong 7.6. The writer is Cecil Castellucci. I don't know, maybe I butchered her, I don't know. And Matthew Rosenberg, artist Marley Zarcone, and Otto Schmidt. The heroes and the vampire allies get ready to launch a massive counteroffensive. Yeah, we got the humans and the vampires are together. They're working together to go now up against Darkseid. They think they've got it figured out. And then, what else do we have here? Well, we've got some other people that are here to help as well. But that's where some interesting things come. You see, the new gods, well, they're gonna screw over the superheroes. They're not really there for the vampires and the heroes. They're actually gonna side with Darkseid. So boy, does that throw in a mean twist. I will say Darkseid really does show how evil he can be here too. And well, Mr. Miracle might be able to escape a lot, but I don't think he's gonna escape this. The art is a mixed bag. Some like it, some don't. I tend to be mixed. Sometimes I think it's fine, and sometimes I think some of the panels are hard to read, though I am enjoying the series. The next book I want to talk about is Batman Robin issue 22 with 128 ratings with 3.9, mostly positive. Yeah, I gave the book a 7.4. This book has a lot more detective work involved in it, and it is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Artist is Carmen de something. And Xavier Fernandez. And this is a chilling case that they're on. It's interesting. Damian's been taken. Batman's working with others, but here's the thing. Batman's secret is really not as secure as he thinks it is, because somebody else knows that Batman's Bruce Wayne. Yeah, so Damian's trapped. We don't know where. And then when we pull in Etrigan, he's coming here to help too. So if you're a fan of him and the mystic kind of stuff, you might be into this. It's a decent story and decent art. But you know what? On this one, let's check some other people's reviews. Because unlike the other issues, this one I've got some good polarizing differences here. We have a 1.5 star review here. It says, kind of, okay, then actually I can't read it. It's in a different language. So there goes that review. Sorry about that, boy. I stepped in on that one. So let's look if I can find another one. Wow, otherwise that was really the lowest one. Here's one that is just 3.5 stars. I love the world building here with Squatter Town and Jason Blood and the occult. Pleasure to see Damian continue to be a fighter, and Bruce continued to make progress on the mystery, albeit begrudgingly. However, points off in my book for Batman's identity being so paper-thin to everybody involved. Yeah, so true there. I like the artist still. Thought that some of the panels were hard to understand. You know, I get that with this kind of art style. I struggle sometimes to be able to pick what was actually going on there. Well, there's that issue. Let's talk about another one. And speaking of other ones, dive into something new, because Marvel's got to capitalize off an old name with the New Avengers. Yeah, how many New Avengers have we had? Now this is the New Avengers #1. But it has 314 ratings with a 3.9, mostly positive score, and I gave the book a 7.8, so that's really not a bad start, is it? We have the writer Sam Humphries and artist Tan Lima. 5 of the most dangerous loners and anti-heroes in the Marvel Universe. Nothing could make them work together but Bucky Barnes and the Black Widow, and they're together all right. And they're going to give it a shot. Demented duplicates of the Illuminati are threatening the world. Yeah, we actually have the Jackal. He made duplicates of the Illuminati, and some of them are pretty weird looking. And if they figure out how to work together, they'll be as unstoppable as the originals. Bucky and Natasha need allies who'll do anything to take the duplicates out, which they didn't know were actually there. They were here for a different reason. But wrangling a team of killers and monsters presents its own dangers. Welcome to the New Avengers! Well, here's the thing. We got the Winter Soldier and Black Widow. I think they make a great team together, and so they put together a team. We get X-23. Of course, this is Marvel's, can't call her that. They gotta call her Wolverine because Marvel's twisting and all that crap. We get Namor in this issue. He's pretty powerful, and he's wreaking some havoc. We get some showing that we're gonna get Doctor Strange's wife involved in here at some point. They insinuate that. But the cover does show 2 characters that we don't get any of at all in this book. We don't see Hulk. We don't see Carnage either. But I will say, I didn't expect to see the Jackal in this series. So, hey, it is what it is. We get a clone to Illuminati. I mean, didn't think about that either. The story's off to a pretty good start, though I will say there is some alternate covers that are much, much better than the original standardized cover for this one. So if you're a fan of this book, well, it might be something to check out. But, I'm looking at the reviews, and sort of like some of the first few, there's not really much to mention because their spread isn't very big. But I'll still try to pick a little bit. Here we go. Let's go with a 4-star. First issue, very solid. I can already see the difference with this forming group versus the current Avengers. You know what I think this book misses, though? I'm editing this. Come on. Give us more U.S. Agent, right? Yeah, give us more U.S. Agent. Here we go. I found a 2.5-star review. This wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. But I'm just so tired of Bucky. And I hate his relationship with Natasha. Wow, I would love to know the rest of your thoughts on that. Do you not like Bucky? Do you not like him with Natasha? I think they're fine together. I have no problem with that. And continuing on with their part, it's never made sense. And it basically makes her a different person when she's around him. Well, when you are around somebody, though, that completes you, it does make you a little bit of a different person. It brings certain things out of you. So I don't agree with that. Let's see what else they have to say. I will say, if this can avoid Laura being written as Logan with boobs, that'll be a massive win. Getting her away from Schultz is already an improvement. Well, I got newsflash for you. That's not how she's written. So far, she's written like a Logan with boobs. So, yeah, who knows? Okay, let's go for a 2-star review. Bucky, USOB, I'm in. I want to like this. Art's pretty.
but I feel there's not much else to say. I'll stay on for Laura, Namor, and Hulk. That was in caps, why I picked it up after all. But I might have been reading it at 1 a.m. I just need to reread it. I don't know. It feels like nothing to sink your teeth into for a first issue. Yeah, maybe you need to be awake when you actually read it, right? You know what? We've all read books tired. I get it. So I appreciate you mentioning that. Maybe you would have given it a better score if you were more awake. And speaking of better scores, let's talk about Transformers issue number 21 with 206 ratings, 4.4 score, very positive on League of Comics Geeks, and I give the book a solid 8. You know, they say Transformers more than meets the eye, but you're getting what meets the eye here. You're getting a great series. You just really are. This book has been a great read. Right now, the writers Daniel Warren Johnson, artist George A. Coran. Now, the covers, it's okay, but there's some different open order covers that are much better than the one that comes standard. We get a face-off, and we get a lot of that. Face-off in this issue with Autobots versus Decepticons, big fights, some big bots are coming out of there. We get some cool moments here. So, for example, the Autobots fly in some help. Yes, they bring in Superion. And, well, Megatron's arm is infecting Optimus Prime. So therefore, it's gotta be amputated. Oh boy, does it ever. When Prime goes, I need you guys to take this arm off. Well, there you go. Sadly, though, when they're getting taken away, the team, the Autobots are getting taken away, Optimus Prime to safety, Superion takes a big hit, and his slingshot gets knocked off of Superion. Yep, and, well, he dies. He loses his head, for one. Woo, this is another solid and brutal issue. We also get some off-world, off-Earth action here, too. And, you ready for this? There is some G.I. Joe tie-in here as well. So if you've been reading the Transformers and G.I. Joe, don't miss this book. It's got a lot. It really does. The reviews are pretty darn good for most part on that, but you know what? Let's share a little bit here. We got a 5-star one. It says, wow, that was an intense issue. Expecting nothing less from DWJ. At this point, I have no clue where things are going to go, but I know it will tie things up well in the next 3 issues. They're going to be quite the ride, I am sure. Let's see if we can find something maybe... here's a 4-star. Not quite as positive. Megatron is severely revolting. If he has 2 combiners, his tactical advantage, he thought would be... Boy, whoever wrote that, it is really not coherent. So maybe we're going to take that one with a grain of salt. Here's another 4-star review. Devastator and Bruticus arguing like siblings is everything to me. There we go. One that you can read and understand. Yeah, those two are bickering like siblings when they're supposed to be getting the Autobots and they actually start fighting each other. I thought that was great. One of the signs of Decepticons, you know, they just can't get together and work together. Let's see here what else I can find here. Let's go with, a 5-star review. This is the 3rd issue of Conquer and Control, while also being the midpoint of the arc. And what an arc this has been. I honestly get sad knowing that DWJ is leaving the book in issue 24. I really can't wait for the next 3 months. You know, I agree, this book, it's going to be sad to see go. I've been really, really enjoying it. Now, with that said, I did find one somewhat negative review here with 2.5 stars. So I tried writing a review for this multiple times today, but I could never get the review to flow well. So here's just my problems with the issue. And by the way, this is from Mr. Rant. What a name, right? Megatron's eyes are brought back off paddle. Makes sense, sure, but it's still weird. Okay. Megatron's leadership in this issue feels lacking. His appearance is supposed to make the Decepticons more coordinated, powerful, and dangerous. And yet the main force of Devastator and Bruticus squabble like children until Megs has to Megatron, directly speak to them to get them to start acting like soldiers. I don't have a problem with this. I think that shows why he's the leader he is. If this had to happen, and it shouldn't have happened last issue when Megs was brought back. Putting it in this issue, and especially in the middle of a fight, just makes Megatron look incompetent of a leader of Starscream was. Oh, he's trashing Starscream. That's fighting words. Another one, Prime being corrupted by the arm, was a great idea, and I thought it was being built up really well in the last issues. And I thought it was coming to a breaking point when Prime kills Jazz. Yeah, the story chickens out of this immediately. Yeah, he points the gun at Jazz but doesn't shoot. I had no problem with that, though. And as Prime tried to get rid of the arm before anything actually happens. Yeah, because Prime overcame it. I have no problem with that. Let's see here. Another point that was made is the loss of the arms when showing shown being put back onto Megatron immediately after, which I honestly just see as such a shame. That's true. The arm gets removed and Megatron pops it right back on. It could have been done better. Okay. And let's see. Superion was great in this issue. I love him. Just after introducing the aerial bots, we immediately kill off Slingshot? Yeah. Huh. Oh, but why? Like, really? It just feels forced. I don't think it felt forced. I think it's showing you that anything can happen to any character at any time. And so, there's some little bit other negatives here, but I think this was good. I think it's a good. Have you been reading G.I. Joe? If you haven't, not G.I. Joe. Well, yeah, G.I. Joe too, but if you've been reading Transformers, let me know. Let me know what you think of this. I hope you continue watching this series. Thank you, everybody. Things have been a little rough lately, but they're getting better. Things are getting better, moving in a positive direction, but boy, have things been crazy and busy. So thanks for supporting the channel, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, keep it frugal.